vision and of respect. The father of independence, Barbados, land of pride and industry, Barbados.
The time is now 7 p.m. Time for the CBC Evening News. This time check is brought to you by Fruta.
The CBC Headline News, brought to you by Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network.
Prime Minister Stewart concerned about the industrial action by the NUPW. Mass deportations predicted for Barbados in the wake of the Trump presidency. And coming up in sports, the Windies take the early lead in the Tri-Nation Series.
The CBC Headline News, brought to you by Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network.
Credible, balanced, committed. This is the CBC Evening News.
Good evening, I'm Shane Jones with the Wednesday, November 16th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story, Prime Minister Frundle Stewart has described the current industrial action by the National Union of Public Workers as irregular. He's charged that the union has instituted a go-slow at the country's ports before even engaging in dialogue. The NUPW has instituted the action as it represents President Akani McDowell in a dispute with the Personnel Administration Division. Kent Jerson has been following that story.
Referring to the NUPW-sanctioned go-slow by customs and immigration officers at the airport and seaport, Prime Minister Frundle Stewart says previously, industrial action was not the first step.
It is only when there is a genuine industrial dispute that admits of no easy resolution that there has been resort to industrial action of any kind.
According to him, that appears to have changed.
Nowadays it seems as though the fashion is to institute industrial action first and then start discussions.
The Prime Minister also makes this observation.
I suppose the institution of industrial action is supposed to be a subtle form, or sometimes not too subtle form, of blackmail of the employer, be that employer the government or an employer in the private sector.
He adds, since the country cannot afford the instability and uncertainty which come with such an approach, changes to the industrial relations system may become necessary.
We may have to get back to the drawing board to see whether there is any alternative to the voluntaristic system that can guarantee us a more stable industrial relations environment while doing no violence to the rights of workers and trade unions and while doing no violence to the rights of employers.
Mr. Stewart also says he's closely monitoring the situation. Kent Jerson, CBC News.
The Barbados Union of Teachers is threatening to take action if the Ministry of Education fails to restore money docked from some teachers' pay earlier this year. President Pedro Shepherd issued this warning to the media after meeting with just over 50 teachers at BUT headquarters this afternoon. He says they also discussed matters relating to appointments and the SBA issue. Mr. Shepherd says they will determine exactly what action will be taken when they meet with the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union. But in relation to the docking of pay, he says this issue must be dealt with in the next few weeks or else. The BUT boss is holding firm to comments he says were made by the education minister that a man's pay is his property.
I would like my property back by the November payday. Otherwise, I personally would have to make representation for my dock pay. As a trade union leader, I believe that I have the right to call a meeting and I have the right to attend the meeting. As a trade union leader, I also have time off during the course of the work week to do union work. And I believe that it was an injustice done to me and my executive members who got their pay dock. I also believe it was an injustice done to the teachers who got their pay dock.
If U.S. President-elect Donald Trump fulfills his mass deportation plans, it could be disastrous for law enforcement in the Caribbean. This grim revelation from Commandant of the Regional Police Training Center, Sylvester Louis. He was addressing this morning's joint graduation and closing ceremony for the VIP Close Protection and Tactical Firearms Training courses.
We have to be prepared for all types who are bred over there, because we really don't know what types of nefarious skills they may be bringing to our shores. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have to be proactive. We have to practice. Need I say more?
The Commandant is also reminding the graduates to be more alert and to avoid making mistakes on duty.
I remember seeing some of you returning from the range after a long day of shooting, and some of you look really, really beat out of shape. Am I lying? Look around. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to be in shape. You have to be sharp all the time. As reported by the Warren Commission in November 1963, President John F. Kennedy was assassinated. And the investigations revealed that a number of his agents had been out late the night before the tragedy and violated protocol by drinking excessive alcohol.
Efforts are on to set up an assets recovery interagency network for the Caribbean. Through the initiative, officials will seek to seize proceeds of crime. Director of Public Prosecution Charles Leacock QC agrees this is the best way to tackle the crime situation. Mr. Leacock's comments came during the opening of a two-day Caribbean regional meeting of asset recovery practitioners at the Radisson Aquatica. The meeting is co-hosted by the Department Against Transnational Organized Crime of the Organization of American States, the Office of the DPP in Barbados, and the Regional Security System.
So that that money can be put into use by other socially beneficial and acceptable projects. So the idea or the concept of confiscation is not something that is new or is something that has to be anyone has to be persuaded on. What has to be discussed is how do we operationalize the confiscation regimes that are legally incumbent upon us and that we have actually effected so that we can get the maximum benefit out of it.
Chief Justice of Barbados, Sir Marston Gibson, supports the venture. Now, he highlighted the case of Al Capone and the great train robber Ronald Biggs. On the latter, he says Barbados was drawn into that case in a small way.
He had not come here from the UK. He had come here from, I think it was Brazil. Right. It came from Brazil. And we did not have an extradition. Brazil was not one of the countries in our extradition act. The Schedule Right, the Extradition Act, named the countries with whom we had extradition relationships. Brazil was not one of those countries. So we had to let him go.
OAS representative to Barbados, Ambassador Francis McBurnett, is advising Caribbean countries not to give in to the criminal networks. He says a majority of jurisdictions have proceeds of crime legislation but rarely use it.
In many Caribbean countries, no assets, I repeat, no assets have been confiscated. We are therefore allowing criminals to retain the vast profits from their illegal activities and thereby affording them the opportunity to invest in further criminality.
From the medical to the industrial fields, Carib Supply has not only helped sustain life, but through its products, it has helped build and shape Barbados pre- and post-independence. And in this, our Golden Jubilee, the company has shown its commitment to Barbados by partnering with the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation and its Guardians of the Heritage Initiative. Several members of staff were on hand to witness the raising of the 47th Barbados flag outside of the CBC. Group Marketing Officer Erin Monlouis says Carib Supply is standing by Barbados.
As a regional company fully Barbadian owned and as a manufacturer and supplier of industrial gases, we are proud of the role we've played in the nation's industry for the past 60 years. Carib Supply has also been associated with the health of the nation as a supplier of medical gas and remain committed to do so. In the milestone of 50 years, we say, Happy Independence, Barbados!
Producer-presenter at CBC, Cassandra Crawford, says Carib Supply's record falls in line with its slogan.
As their ad says, my Carib Supply. And you know, Carib Supply has been servicing Barbados and the Caribbean for more than 50 years, some 60 years, and certainly here at the CBC, we are happy and grateful to have you as partners for the Guardians of the Heritage Initiative. We want to say thank you and wish you continued success servicing the industrial and medical industries. You are doing a fantastic job. Continue to be guardians of our heritage.
Okay, we'll take a short break here and come back with more news.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
More great cities just got closer. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard is now even better. Fly to New York, Miami, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale with just 20,000 Scotia points. With your new Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard, you'll receive a welcome bonus of 10,000 Scotia points so you can enjoy the cities you love most sooner than ever. Apply today. Call 426-7000 or visit your nearest branch.
I wish to celebrate in style this independence.
Yes, and in color too.
Harris Paints is giving you everything you wish this independence with up to 30% off select Harris products. Plus a chance to win your share of $10,000 cash in weekly draws. Get one entry form with every $50 spent in Harris products.
New paint job inside and out.
And cash too.
Sweet! Harris! See Press or Harris Paints social media for more. Get everything you wish this independence with Harris Paints. Happy 50th anniversary, Barbados.
Nita Barrow was a woman in her own right, and how substantial were her international roles. They weren't roles that were played all the time in the Caribbean. When in the Caribbean, not all the time in Barbados. So she was a West Indian woman in a very real way. But beyond that, she was an international woman.
In the upper house, there was a fresh call for serious stock-taking on productivity in Barbados as the country approaches 50 years of independence in 2 weeks' time. It came from a leader of government business in the Senate, Senator Maxine McLean. Now, she's worried that while Barbadians have become better educated, they've at the same time also become less productive. She expressed her concern as she led off debate on a resolution congratulating Barbados on its Golden Jubilee and hailing all Barbadians in making the achievement possible.
I would argue, Madam President, that it is not for government or the church alone or school, meaning the principal and the teachers, but for at the family unit and at the individual level that we need to take stock and ask ourselves, as we celebrate, because we have a lot to celebrate, how do I assess myself, how do I assess my community, how do I assess my society, my country, in a way that would allow us to identify what we need to do to improve on and to continue to build.
The Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade Minister is also concerned about efforts in some quarters to debase and politicize the 50th anniversary independence celebrations.
It has upset me that as we sought and are seeking to ensure that this seminal moment that is our 50th anniversary is recognized as a critical landmark, we have persons who are basically seeking to debase the whole process, to politicize it and so on. And that I find is unfortunate, and therefore my need to spend some time to talk about these.
Minister in the Prime Minister's office, Senator Darcy Boyce, says the social partnership is vital to Barbados. He wants the country to guard against any attempts that threaten its existence.
It got us through 93. It is recognized worldwide as being a Barbadian institution. All its principles are adopted in the ILO. We must not let foolishness interfere with that mechanism, and because if it interferes with that mechanism, it is going to interfere with the viability and the future of this country.
Senator Boyce says governments of Barbados have been taking risks for the betterment of the country over the years. He says examples include the construction of the Hilton Hotel and establishing a national insurance scheme. Independent Senator Alwyn Adams, during his contribution to the debate, called for a new funding model for the university education in Barbados.
That while the students ought to be asked to pay something because the cost of the expansion of education have outstripped the ability of the taxpayers to pay, but that we have a duty to come up with a new funding model which will be a win-win situation for the students and for the government and for the economy as a whole. And I don't think that we have yet come up with that model. So I hope that in future discussions we may be able to do that.
Senator Adams also wants greater focus placed on developing TVET education in the future. An opposition senator has criticized the Golden Jubilee Independence celebrations as being too political. Wilfred Abrams also says the celebrations do nothing to leave a lasting legacy for Barbadians. In his contribution to the post-lunch session of the debate, Senator Abrams said the money spent on the activities could have been used to buy garbage trucks. He also is not convinced the planned cleanup campaign as part of the celebrations will be enough to get rid of what he calls the excessive overgrowth of bush around the island. Mr. Abrams says Barbados needs a reboot to try to recapture some of the moral values that guided Barbadians' actions in the past. Its track record in the development of culture stands undisputed since it was created through an Act of Parliament in March of 1983. Since then, the National Cultural Foundation has actively played its part in developing cropover, the arts, dance, and many other forms. To signal its continued commitment to the nation during its Golden Jubilee, the NCF joined with its long-standing partner, the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, by coming on board as a guardian of the heritage. Chief Executive Officer Cranston Brown led the NCF team as the 48th Barbados flag was hoisted. Mr. Brown says the NCF is a proud guardian of Barbadian culture.
As guardians of our cultural heritage, with a mandate to preserve our cultural identity, the NCF is pleased to partner with the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation in this effort to celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence. The CBC and the NCF work closely together year-round, and therefore we are extremely pleased to be part of the guardians of our heritage product. So, happy independence, Barbados, from the National Cultural Foundation.
General Manager of the CBC, Doug Hoyt, says given the relationship with the NCF over the years, the two have been like family.
And at a time like this, as we celebrate our 50th anniversary of independence, who better to have than family partnering with you in such a significant cause. We are grateful to the NCF for joining in this initiative, and we look forward to that continued bond between the two organizations.
Well, the 49th flag is currently being flown outside of the CBC, and the 50th will be hoisted tomorrow evening. Still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region. But before we get there, here's a tip from Coverley Medical Center.
Regular breast and pelvic examinations are important, especially if you have a family history of cancer. So, have you booked your next annual checkup?
Generations for family, commitment to you, for honesty, respect for one another in our community. Trident Insurance, this gem is home for me. With Trident Insurance, we treat you like family.
Store All is the largest self-storage facility in Barbados. We offer both indoor and drive-up self-storage with coded electronic access, a state-of-the-art camera surveillance system, motion and smoke detectors, and a nightly security guard. Call Store All today.
Value, convenience, we got it. 50 stores and services, yeah, we got it all. When it comes to you and your family, it's here in Haggett Hall. Sky Food Court, this mall has it all. Right here in Haggett Hall. Convenience for the family. Everything for you and me. Right here, yeah, yeah. When it comes to you and your family, it's here in Haggett Hall. Sky Food Court, this mall has it all.
Well, you hear this thing.
Tune in on CBC TV 8 this Wednesday at 8 p.m. for the Barbados is Music Show. Barbados is music.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean.
Jamaican entertainer Signature Alcock, also known as Jacure, pleaded not guilty when he appeared in court in the Bahamas. This after being accused of committing a misdemeanor that stemmed from an argument at the Atlantis Paradise Island Resort on Sunday. 39-year-old Jacure appeared before Magistrate Samuel McKinney, along with another Jamaican 26-year-old Tereth Mason, to face single charge of fighting in a public place. Another person, 22-year-old Trevor Thompson, a Bahamian national, didn't appear in court. The police reported that Jacure, Thompson, and Mason were at the Atlantis Resort when a fight broke out. The incident was captured on camera and distributed on social media. The St. Lucian government says it has not ruled out shortening the VAT-exempt list. However, policy measures are being considered to cushion the possible blow to low-income earners. But the opposition leader, Philip J. Pierre, is skeptical of proposed talks for the introduction of government-controlled food assistance programs. Police in St. Lucia have placed banks on high alert following an upsurge in credit card scams. The Major Crimes Unit of the police force says criminals have devices that can read the magnetic strip of any card and small cameras that can be placed on ATMs. Police say the cameras can record the PIN number and collect personal information stored on the magnetic strip of the card.
Across the Caribbean, brought to you by CIBC First Caribbean.
Sports news is just ahead, but first, a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Let's celebrate 50 years of independence. Did you know that the first and second governors, Captain William Dean and John Powell respectively, were each arrested during their terms as governors and returned to England in irons?
Fly away to somewhere new, buy a gift just for you. Get cash back or give it away. Choose your reward, choose it today.
CIBC First Caribbean Visa Classic and Visa Gold credit cards now have rewards, and you choose how you use your reward points. Get merchandise from international stores or receive cash back on your card. And Gold card holders can use their points towards flights on any airline.
To fly, to buy, to get or to give, shop, earn, enjoy with CIBC First Caribbean Rewards Visa Classic and Visa Gold cards. CIBC First Caribbean, for what matters.
This is Troy Awesome, the head florist for Hastings Flower Mart. Sandals does have an effect on Hastings Flower Mart because it gives us the opportunity to provide them with quality flowers and quality work, and in exchange in doing that, we also push in our own business as well.
Sandals Resorts International thrives in mutually beneficial partnerships with hundreds of businesses.
It doesn't take a lot to work with Sandals, it just takes dedication. Sandals have been with Sandals from its inception, which is about 2 years now. They have improved and they have given back to the society and to the individuals that work here. My name is Markson Downey. I am a landscaper, gardener with Sandals, Barbados. Yes, I am Sandals. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Celebrate 50 years of independence at NIFCA Central in association with Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center from November 14th to 26th. Beginning with NIFCA Visual Arts and Photography Exhibition, Shades of Light. Monday to Saturday noon to 6 p.m. from November 14th to 26th at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Bring a friend and grab the popcorn as we watch some of our locally produced films. 6 p.m. November 18th at the Barbados Public Workers Credit Union Film and Video Screening. Mouth-watering dishes and tantalizing drinks are the main ingredients at the Roberts Culinary Arts Arena. Beef up your skills at our Culinary Arts Workshop or just witness the pros at the Professional Cook-Off, Best Bajan Cook, and Stir It Up Mixology competitions, and come taste the hand of our local celebrities in the Celebrity Showcase. Friday 18th and Saturday 19th November, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Celebrate 50 at NIFCA Central in association with the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center, November 14th to 26th.
Your favorite movies are now showing at home. At Quartz, find the latest TVs and home theater systems from the world's best brands, with TVs starting from only $399. It's easier than ever to complete your home entertainment experience. Enjoying your home is made easy only at Quartz, bringing value home.
Good evening, I'm Sean Green with the CBC Sports. Well, the West Indies are leading the standings as they defeated Sri Lanka by 62 runs in the second game of the Tri-Nation Series at the Harare Sports Club earlier today. Now, in their opening game, the Windies were asked to bat first and were dismissed for 227 of 49.2 overs. Jonathan Carter top scored with 54. Sri Lanka were then bowled out for 165 in 43.1 overs for the West Indies to win by 62 runs. Skipper Jason Holder was the player of the match with economical figures of 2 for 16 from 8 overs. Here's a look at the highlights.
We'll be looking to change that during this series. Big shot, down to third man, and he's gone.
Make him play. Oh! They're asking for the stumping. In fact, he's given out, caught behind.
That's the way to go. It's down the ground now. Is it enough? I think it is. Oh! He's bowled him out. Shot. He's gone over mid-wicket. A great shot up in the air, and he's gone.
Keeps following him. Oh my goodness gracious! Oh, what a catch! Gone, is he? Yes, he is. And Sri Lanka has struck. Taken. Oh, that has to be. That has to be. Indeed, goes goes for the Yorker. It's given.
Bowled out for 227. That's the nick. That's the nick. Holder's got his man. It's a fine catch going down the leg side. In the air. He's had a go at one outside off stump.
He's gone.
Up she goes. This should be gone. It is. Oh, this is a big call. And now what? He's stuck him. In the air, easy as you like.
Yorker. Kulasekara goes high and taken. Oh, what a wonderful catch. What a brilliant catch that is. And the West Indies win with the bonus point.
Well, the West Indies and Sri Lanka have 5 points, but the Windies have a superior net run rate. Now, their next game is on Saturday against the host, Zimbabwe. Springer Memorial will play Queen's College for the Barbados Secondary Schools Under-19 netball title. The defending champions were down 7 goals going into the fourth quarter last evening at the netball stadium, but came back to beat Christchurch Foundation and qualify for tomorrow's final. Queen's College defeated Leicester Vaughan in the other semi-final. Here we go with the semi-finals, and we start with Queen's College in the blue and red and Leicester Vaughan in the green. QC starts off through Janine Ford. She had 5 from 8 attempts. To the other side of the court and Leicester Vaughan's Jana Joseph replies. She also had 5 goals from 8. Joseph had some help from her compatriot Vivica Addison. She shot 10 from 14. Then Joseph sinks this one to bring them right back into it. And Queen's College wanted it so badly that they made a tactical switch. Kaylin Shockness moved to goal shooter. She had 8 from 10. There was a constant power shift in the late stages of the game as both teams gave it everything they had. But in the end, Queen's College will be the ones moving through to the final, winning 16-15. On to the second game. Springer in the blue and yellow and Foundation in the all yellow were both undefeated. We catch this game when Foundation Steffian Shepherd scores one of her 10 from 14. Foundation came ready for the defending champions. Quick passing allowed Shepherd to walk right into the free circle. Springer made a switch. Jada Smith replacing Holder, and she got straight to work. She had 6 from 9. Meanwhile, on the other side of the court, Foundation Shiara Chase expands their lead. She had 12 from 16. And big games called for big players. Thorne was like a giant on the court. She gets another one to drop to tie the game. Smith then signed, sealed, and delivered the message as Springer won 23-22 to move into the final on Thursday. Now, for Barbados' 50th anniversary, CBC Sports will be featuring Barbadians who've been knighted for their achievements in sports. In the first of the series, produced by Melissa Farley, we feature Sir Conrad Hunt.
Before a leader can become a good leader, he must have learned to be a good follower. And in order for a leader to earn the authority to correct his followers, he must set for himself and endeavor to uphold high standards of workmanship and lofty values of life, both in private and in public.
A reliable opening batsman, a distinguished and committed sportsman, a former vice-captain of the West Indies cricket team, and former president of the Barbados Cricket Association, a moral crusader. That's Sir Conrad Hunt.
Whatever our social, economic, or hereditary background, each of us is blessed with an imagination that has within it unlimited potential to lift us over any obstacle and every difficulty towards success in whatever field we are gifted.
Where's that gone? It's out towards the boundary. 4 more.
Everyone knows of Sagarthu Sober's record-breaking 365 not out against Pakistan in 1958. But few remember that Hunt shared in a 446-run partnership with him during that innings. A partnership in which he outclassed Sober shot for shot before being run out on 260. The second of his 3 centuries in that debut series. In a career 10 tests against Australia, Hunt scored 8 50s and 1 century. And in the 1964-65 series alone, such was his consistency that he plundered 550 runs in 5 tests against the Aussies without scoring a century. Sir Conrad is one of few West Indian cricketers whose selection on any greatest ever West Indies 11 is unquestioned. Such is the stature of the man Sir Conrad Hunt that he walked away from the game at the height of his powers.
On the 20th of November 1967 I retired. I did that deliberately rather prematurely also, in order to anticipate and try and cure the cause of racial conflicts in Britain. And in the last decade, that's what I tried to do in many continents. I was in Southern Africa on 4 visits, here in the States and in Canada. And also I paid a couple of visits to the Caribbean on that same basis. I did indeed have some more cricket. I said prematurely because I had a knee injury, which meant I would have had to miss the MCC visit to West Indies in 1968. But I saw the gathering storm clouds of hatred building up in Britain during the tour of 1966. And so I felt, having been respected by both sides, I had a part to play. So I would say prematurely on my part, but I think it was the right timing in terms of trying to cure the gathering conflicts between the races in Britain.
After retiring from cricket in 1967 with 3,245 test runs under his belt at an average of 45.06 and 8 centuries, he was knighted in 1998. Well, the Sporting Night series will continue on Friday. Well, we're into the 30s now in our count up to 50 top sports feats.
In the third test of the 1958-59 cricket series against Pakistan, Barbadian Sir Conrad Hunt and Sir Garfield Sobers made a West Indies record second wicket stand of 446. It was at Sabina Park in Jamaica when Sir Conrad made 260 and Sir Gary went on after the partnership was broken to score 365 not out, as West Indies declared their first innings on a massive 790 for 3. And went on to win the test by an innings and 174 runs. Sir Conrad Hunt and Sir Garfield Sobers with the highest ever West Indies test partnership of 446. A great Bajan sporting moment. May 11th, 2013, Barbadian Football International Emerson Boyce captained Wigan Athletic to the English FA Cup. 1 goal was all it took for Boyce and Wigan to seal their place in English football history, beating favourites Manchester City to win the first trophy in the club's 81-year history. Boyce lifted the trophy in front of a packed Wembley Stadium to cap off a great Bajan sporting moment.
Well, that's sports for tonight. Shane Jones returns with a look at the business.
Play the new hot ticket, Super Sizzling Sevens, and you could be swimming in cash with a top prize of $107,000 and 21 chances to win $107,000 on each ticket.
Countdown to 50.
My name is Ariel Grant. Agriculture is vital for all Barbadians. It is the foundation of our food security. Here at the Princess Margaret Secondary School, we are doing our part. There are 14 days left until our 50th anniversary of independence. Happy Independence, Barbados!
Countdown to 50.
Best 7-Star and Hennessy in association with Flow and Hot 95.3 FM present Hennessy Artistry. Saturday, December 3rd, 2016 at the Kensington Oval, Barbados. Showtime 9 p.m. Featuring international superstar Miss Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill. Beanie Man. Bounty Killer. Bounty Killer, and Taurus Riley. From Barbados Cover Drive, Don Trent and Damian Marvey. MCs Peter Coppin and Vane. General tickets $90 and $100 while stocks last. Hennessy Privilege Lounge $300. Barbados, let's celebrate 50 years of independence with a special Hennessy Artistry Weekend, December 2nd to 4th. Happy 50th anniversary, Barbados. Hennessy, never stop, never settle.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Tonight's business report is brought to you by the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, where you belong.
Commerce and Industry Minister Donville Innes says the private sector is ripe for privatization. But he says there is a lack of innovation in that sector as many continue to rely heavily on government. Speaking during debate in Parliament, Minister Innes says more businesses need to invest in research and development.
Their belief seems to be about buying something, putting on the market and selling it. Or buying somebody else's idea, somebody else's technology. I am saying that some companies in Barbados, Mr. Speaker, are involved in some niche areas where they must make more of an investment in research and development. And do it on your own. You don't always need to have a handout from government to make it happen. If the state is providing the educational system that allows you to have that human resource, make use of them as well.
Young entrepreneurs are being urged to pay greater attention to branding as they seek to push their products. This from Managing Director of Blueprint Creative Inc., Ron Johnson. Speaking at the Barbados Youth Trust's Business Over Breakfast session, he explained one's brands involves more than visual elements.
An important brand insight is that consistency is extremely important when it comes to branding. Your customers should receive more or less the same level of service and quality no matter who's dealing with them. And when we say more or less, we mean more and more and not more or less, by the way. So if I'm at the coffee shop, you should expect to get the same level of service as if Andrew was there, or Catherine, or Joe. It really doesn't matter.
In his presentation, Virgin Atlantic's commercial manager for the Caribbean, Andrew Bello, urged the entrepreneurs to tap into their Caribbean cultures to boost creativity.
It's part of our culture, it's part of our history, it's part of the way we talk. We are the best. And therefore, we should be able to dominate this world in terms of this new age, which is basically being called the creative age. Yeah? In telling proper stories.
Time now to take a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across the region.
In Jamaica, JMMB Group Limited 7.50% was the volume leader with 1,251,688 units, followed by Jamaica Money Market Brokers Limited 7.50% and JMMB Group Limited. In Trinidad, Grace Kennedy Limited was the volume leader with 238,602 shares valued at $666,729.35, followed by National Commercial Bank Jamaica Limited and First Caribbean International Bank Limited. And in Barbados, First Caribbean International Bank was the volume leader, trading 21,581 shares at $2.25 each, followed by Massey Holdings Limited.
Work
In international business, listen to this. The WWE, or World Wrestling Entertainment, is now a part of the stock market rally since Donald Trump's election victory. And there's even speculation that Linda McMahon, wife of the WWE CEO Vince McMahon, could be named in President Trump's cabinet.
Yes, World Wrestling Entertainment seems to be benefiting along with many other stocks after Trump defeated Hillary Clinton. Why?
What's going on over here?
In some respects, Trump might be our first body slammer in chief. Trump has a history with the WWE, famously getting involved in a grudge match with CEO of WWE Vince McMahon that resulted in Trump actually shaving McMahon's head. Not the most presidential of behaviors, if you ask me, but hopefully Trump won't try that again with other heads of state.
Donald Trump is in a world he is not familiar with. This is not real estate.
So why is the stock going up? Is it really a validation of the company's business model because Trump used to spar with Vince McMahon? I'm not really so sure about that. But here is one interesting wrinkle that maybe investors are latching onto. There is actual speculation that Trump might name Linda McMahon, the wife of Vince McMahon, a former candidate, Republican, for senator from the state of Connecticut. She lost twice, could be a pick in Trump's cabinet for Commerce Secretary. If that happens, I think it would shock a lot of people, but hey, this has already been an unconventional campaign, an unconventional victor. Why not an unconventional cabinet?
Weather news is next.
Tonight's business report was brought to you by the Barbados Public Workers Cooperative Credit Union Limited, where you belong.
There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. And there's an answer.
Thank you so much for helping us to make a difference in the lives of so many people here in the Caribbean.
Thank you so much.
So from all of us here in the Caribbean, we'd like to say a big
High on our page, page. Yo, this is Philip 7, and we gonna light up Kensington Oval on the 29th of November, cause Barbados is music, and we're celebrating 50 years. Hope to see you there, cause I will be there. Page, yeah.
Good evening and welcome back. And today it rained cats and dogs across Barbados. At the airport alone, 15.7 millimeters of rainfall. That's over half an inch. And we'll be taking a look at the system that brought us those heavy showers today. And with the showers and in some cases rain, it was noticeably cooler today than normal. The maximum temperature today 29.8 degrees Celsius, and overnight the temperature dipped to 24.1 degrees Celsius. Right now the temperature is middling between 25 and 26 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 90%, so there's still quite a bit of moisture at the lower levels, and the winds continue to be light to moderate, and they're flowing in from the east. And the remnants of a trough system continue to move across Barbados and the other islands of the Eastern Caribbean today, generating quite a bit of instability. So it was cloudy across the islands and there were some showers. Not as many showers across the other islands as we got here in Barbados. The only other area that got significant shower activity was Trinidad and Tobago. They had moderate to heavy showers throughout the day and even some isolated thunderstorms throughout the afternoon. And the intertropical convergence zone, moisture from it is creeping towards the north, so that moisture was very prevalent over the Guianas, so it was cloudy with showers, but overcast with showers over the Guianas throughout today. And looking very quickly, well, our satellite picture has moved on, so let's take a look at forecast conditions tomorrow and throughout tonight as well. A lot of the moisture associated with that trough system will hover over the islands of the Eastern Caribbean, so we'll continue to see showers over especially the southern portion of the region in Barbados tonight and into the first half of tomorrow. There's a frontal system that's also going to be generating some moisture over the northern islands, and they'll get some showers off and on as well. In terms of the 4-day forecast for Barbados, throughout tonight and tomorrow it will continue to be cloudy, and we will get some showers as well and possibly some isolated thunderstorms. Showers especially during the first half of tomorrow. On Friday, Saturday and Sunday we expect it to be fair, and we anticipate scattered showers as the atmosphere starts to dry out. Sunrise will be at 2 minutes before 6 and the sun will set at 29 minutes past 5. Our first daytime high tide will be at a minute before 6, and there's going to be one low tide tomorrow at 19 minutes past 11. Seas tomorrow slight to moderate in upper water, normal sea swells peaking at around 2 meters, while the winds will come in directly from the east and wind speeds will vary between 15 and 35 kilometers per hour. So cloudy skies tonight with some showers and possible isolated thunderstorms, and tomorrow fair to occasionally cloudy, when we expect some scattered showers mainly during the morning. And we leave you now with a final look at forecast weather conditions for the region and then for our selected international cities.
Court's Pot of Gold is back with $250,000 to be won every day. Yes, every day. We will give away 50 $100 bills as we celebrate the nation's 50th anniversary. It's huge. One $5,000 winner for 50 days. Spend $999.99 and over between September 26th and November 23rd, 2016 for your chance to win. Offer valid on both cash and credit purchases. Shop now and pay nothing until 2017. Let's go. The season is here. Courts, bringing value home.
It's a vision whose time has come. This November 29th, Digicel, Barbados is Music presents the most explosive array of titans to share Barbadian stage. Crossfire, Coalition, and Square One will descend upon Kensington Oval for the independent show that will be talked about for the next 50 years. Get your $80 tickets at all advertised box offices. New Look Boutique, Digicel Store at the Costa Mall, Praxis Clothing Store, Play Deli, A&B Music Supply Sheraton, Emerald City, Lewis Wildy, Eddie's Fright Sound, Upbeat Warrens and Sky Mall, and Ticketpal.com. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Barbados is Music or call 832-0246 for more information. Digicel, Barbados is Music is sponsored by Remy Martin 1738, Douglas Hill Wines 98.1, The One, Banks, and Digicel.
The Barbados National Anthem.
The music of the Barbados National Anthem was composed by Mr. C. Van Roland Edwards and the lyrics penned by Mr. Irving Burgee. The anthem has 2 verses and a chorus. Van Roland Edwards was born in 1912 and educated at St. Peter's Church Boys' School. Irving Burgee was born in Brooklyn, New York, to a Barbadian mother and American father. The music of the national anthem was rearranged in 1967 by Inspector Prince Cave of the Royal Barbados Police Band.
The Barbados National Anthem.
Well, the world is waiting to see how a Trump presidency will play out. But in the meantime, there's a growing fascination with him in China.
What do a pheasant and a kid speaking Mandarin have to do with the perception of Donald Trump in
China?
It's pronounced China. Well, the Chinese seem captivated by both Trump's grandchild and his look-alike. The crest of the golden pheasant residing in a Chinese zoo bears such a striking resemblance to the Donald's hair that the pheasant's photo went viral. A bird lover in the U.S. actually made an attack ad featuring a golden pheasant.
He's threatened to ban all bird migration.
Huge flocks of birds migrate here every year. They bring bird flu, they eat our worms.
But enough with Trump's golden mane and the golden pheasant. Oh, we're going from pheasants to peasants. Trump's grandchild reciting a Chinese poem called Sympathy for the Peasants.
Coming up next, a recap of the top stories.
Celebrate 50 years of independence at NIFCA Central in association with Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center from November 14th to 26th. Beginning with NIFCA Visual Arts and Photography Exhibition, Shades of Light. Monday to Saturday noon to 6 p.m. from November 14th to 26th at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Bring a friend and grab the popcorn as we watch some of our locally produced films. 6 p.m. November 18th at the Barbados Public Workers Credit Union Film and Video Screening. Mouth-watering dishes and tantalizing drinks are the main ingredients at the Roberts Culinary Arts Arena. Beef up your skills at our Culinary Arts Workshop or just witness the pros at the Professional Cook-Off, Best Bajan Cook, and Stir It Up Mixology competitions. And come taste the hand of our local celebrities in the Celebrity Showcase. Friday 18th and Saturday 19th November, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Celebrate 50 at NIFCA Central in association with the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center, November 14th to 26th.
Make your Christmas colorific with Berger. Get fantastic discounts and win instant prizes for every 2 gallons you buy of your favorite Berger paint in our Peel and Win promotion, where everyone is a winner. Thousands of great prizes to be won. Plus, enter for your chance to win fortnightly prizes of electronic tablets and the grand prize of a shopping trip for 2 to Miami with spending money. Visit www.bergerpaintscaribbean.com for more details. Berger, for lasting beauty and protection.
Yo, it's your boy AON Skills.
Yo, it's DJ Timeless.
Representing 98.1 The One.
Bam!
To tell you all about November 29th, Barbados is music.
Kids is an oval you do not want to miss it. Of course, you want to be in that 98.1 The One super fan zone. Tickets are $150. You get a chance to hang with Crossfire, Square One, Coalition, all in that zone. Don't you miss it. The only place you need to be, November 29th. Barbados is music, right?
For sure.
Don't you miss it.
Don't miss it.
Prime Minister Frondell Stewart has labelled the current industrial action by the National Union of Public Workers as irregular. He's charged that the union has instituted a go slow at the country's ports before engaging in dialogue. The NUPW has instituted the action as it represents President Akani McDowell in a dispute with the Personnel Administration Division. If U.S. President-elect Donald Trump fulfills his mass deportation plans, it could be disastrous for law enforcement in the Caribbean. This grim revelation from Commandant of the Regional Police Training Center, Sylvester Louis. Efforts are on to set up an assets recovery interagency network for the Caribbean. Through the initiative, officials will seek to remove the proceeds of crime. Now to the forecast. For tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy with some scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. Tomorrow, fair to occasionally cloudy with some scattered showers mainly during the morning.
It is the liquid of life. We all need it to survive. Water, choose water first. Water, we all know it is precious. Should be enjoyed by all of us. Talking about water, choose water first. Water.
Over the last month or so, the Barbados Water Authority has been pushing to complete projects which would ultimately lead to a much improved water supply for people serviced by the Castle Grant system. That's the system that mainly feeds parts of the country at the higher elevations, like residents in St. Joseph, in parts of St. Andrew, St. John and St. Thomas. BWA officials have hinged their efforts so far on 2 boreholes at Sweetville in St. George to pump water directly into Castle Grant, which has experienced critically low levels during the prolonged drought. The engineer in charge of pumping at the authority, Wayne Richards, says the supply of water from these boreholes is now stable.
We have reaped some measure of success by putting the boreholes into production. What the boreholes actually targeted and our strategy was to give Castle Grant system an independent supply, and that has helped tremendously. We were at borehole number 3 last. There are only 2 boreholes, Sweetville borehole number 2, Sweetville borehole number 3. 2 boreholes. Any other boreholes were exploratory, but these are the 2 boreholes that are in production. We took a week longer than we anticipated at that point because we had other challenges in the system as well, and we reaped some measure of success where we are now sustaining at least adequate levels into that system.
The BWA engineer says the success rate so far is at about 75% as the authority moves to fix a number of other issues in the system.
We are working at getting a higher percentage so that basically we would have a large amount of people getting water, but we have some other challenges. As I tell you, we have teething problems in the system, and we have leaks, and we believe we may have also like from corroded pipes, what's not, and we have to somehow find those leaks, and they take us a little time to get around to, and we have to upgrade certain means to improve the production into the system.
The BWA has also been able to address water shortages in the north of the island, which occurred in early October.
We also now have a smaller brackish water plant from Ionics at Hope, which is an old well area, but that had salinity problems as well. That is a brackish water they're using their brackish water plant there, and that gives another $500,000 into the system. So we were depleted by $500,000 into in half acre because Allendale's production has decreased by 50%, so we had to make it up. So Ionics is helping us in that respect from Hope right now into half acre system, and in so doing it assists Lambert's and Boscobel reservoirs.
So as a result, complaints from residents in St. Joseph and surrounding rural communities, as well as from people living in St. Lucie, have decreased significantly. But the authority still has work to do in parts of St. Peter and St. James. Next week, we'll look at outages there with emphasis on districts such as Mount Brevotor, Fort Hill, Ben Hill, Indian Ground and surrounding districts. We'll also address issues in Apeshill and Orange Hill as well as in Lancaster. So tune in next week for further updates on Water Wednesdays. To view this or previous episode again, please visit the BWA's website, www.barbadoswaterauthority.com, or you can go to YouTube and type in Water Wednesdays.
It is the liquid of life. We all need it to survive. Water, choose water first. Water, we all know it is precious. Should be enjoyed by all of us. Talking about water, choose water first. Water.
Well, that's it for tonight's edition of the CBC Evening News. On behalf of the crew, thanks for joining us and good night.
You're watching CBC TV Channel 8, the station of our 50th Independence Anniversary.
Hi there guys, welcome to the second in the series Barbados is Music. I am the Admiral and with me is my co-host Carol Roberts.
Hi Admiral, so great to be in company with you again. Well, in our first episode we took you to the After Dark nightclub, and this week we've come a little closer to Bridgetown along the south coast, and we are at the Boatyard.
But sitting directly to my left is one of the founding members of the band Coalition, Mr. Boo Husbands.
Hi Boo, how are you doing?
Carol. I'm good, I'm good.
Let's start this story with you working in St. Vincent.
Well, if my memory serves me correctly, there was a band called Touch who used to rehearse just at the corner where it was my apartment. I used to go and listen to them, and they invited me one night to go and hear them at the Aquatic Club. I get there about 11 o'clock, and these men was playing soca. At 2 o'clock in the morning, they was still playing. And nobody didn't move, and I was like in awe. The level of musicianship was Hi, Admiral could tell you because he knows these guys.
St. Vincent.
Jules Williams,
Yeah.
Brian
Cleve Scott.
Alexander, Cleve Scott. And I thought, Barbados ain't got nothing like this though. Because we were accustomed playing 2 45-minute sets. And that's it for the night.
That's it, yes.
Right? So I came back home, this is the end of 1987, and I spoke to Glenn Martin and David Jordan about the idea. Glenn's drummer, he was the first drummer, and David Jordan was the first bass player.
Yes.
Then Glenn led us to the key man, right, behind Coalition, David Theophilus Hooper. Our thing was Caribbean music, but focused on soca. And then the first gig we had was at the Island Inn, All Year's Night of 1988. David Eswick, the Honorable David Eswick, played guitar for about the first 4 gigs before he went off to medical school. And Jerry was on the vocals along with Lillian Lord. And that's where Coalition basically started.
Well, you keep talking about we, and I was wondering, how did the name Coalition come about?
Yeah.
We were looking for a name, and Jerry, I think it was Jerry. And Jerry said, well, there's really a coalition of people from all over the place. And then it was like, yo, that name, Coalition. And that's how Coalition started. A lot of musicians passed through Coalition. At one time we had, and good musicians. We had Ricky Emmy on bass and vocals, Eugene Barton on bass and vocals, a guy from Guyana called Maxi Gavaya, Maxi G on bass. We got a guy from Jamaica that came in to play keyboards. There's a guy called Leroy Romans. Leroy, when he left Barbados, walked straight into Third World, into Third World Band, and was one of Jamaica's top producers for a while. So that's the caliber of people that came through Coalition. And there's one part of the Coalition story that is important. I mean, really, really important. In the early days, Coalition became well known through the region as a backing band. And all the Trinidadian artists that would come to Barbados would be backed by Coalition.
Calypso Spectacular
Calypso,
and all
right.
this.
After and Jerry left, we auditioned some people, and it ended up with Rupee. We ended at Rupee, TC, Adrian Clark up front. They brought a new energy, right? And it gave us a chance to be dynamic, because Adrian can sing a good ballad as good as anybody. So can TC. But what Rupee had was a vibe with people, and he could do that dancehall thing good.
He was sexy.
Yeah,
Plain
well,
and simple.
I looked at him a couple of times, but I didn't really find he was too sexy, cause I didn't look at him that kind of way.
I say
right?
so.
You say so. And the synergy between the three up front was great. The musicians had fun. Certainly we used to have a lot of fun here on the boatyard. The stage used to be there, and then it moved. I went there where it is now. But on Tuesday nights, man, on Tuesday nights, boatyard used to be hot.
I want to thank you so much for sharing